South Central College has named 4 finalists for its next president. Those finalists are Dr. Heather Bigard, most recently president of Lake Sumter State College in Florida, Dr. Ritu Raju, currently president of Gateway Technical College in Wisconsin, Dr. Tia Robinson Cooper, who served Ivy Tech Community College of Indiana as chancellor, and Dr. Lester Sandres Papalo, who served as president of New York's Rockland Community College. Community forums will be held Tuesday and Wednesday in the Heritage Hall on the North Mankato campus. The Board of Trustees is expected to select the next president in mid-April. The new president will replace Dr. Annette Parker, who announced her retirement in August.